powerful cutter, and Simon Montague as well. The deep shot goes up. And a tremendous catch by Drew Mayowald. Skies the pile. And Kyle Gill continues to Andrew Moore. And Subzero, after cleaning up some trash, leads 1-0. My name's Ian Toner. I'm joined here by Brian Kiernan. Brian, Chain has to be happy with getting that floaty defensive look, but upset with the execution.
Oh, definitely. That's what you want to force. You just want to let them make mistakes. Usually a pie like this, it'll turn out great for the defense, but an awesome effort here by Mayowald leads to the easy goal.
So Subzero holds. They lead 1-0. Looks like we might have some sort of injury on the field. Byron Liu is down and holding his shoulder. Looks like he might have dislocated his shoulder. Gonna need to get that set back in.
That could be a big loss for Chain. He looks like he's in a lot of pain. We're just hearing now, this is the second time it's been popping out. Had previous troubles with that shoulder. We gotta wish the best for him.
Lua, a very aggressive defender, likes to frustrate handlers. Popped his shoulder in that last game against High Five, where Chain emerged with a 12-11 double game point victory. We take a look here at the Subzero defensive line. We see another one of the players to watch for Subzero. That's number 17, Logan Weiss, who pulls the disc. Another Carleton alum, a great athletic defender. And Chain centers to Jared Inselman. Inselman breaks the mark to Hollingworth. Hollingworth surveys the field. Back to Olsen. Christian Olsen. Over to Inselman. And the deep shot goes up to Hollingworth. Clark in the area. Hollingworth maintains position. Boxes out for the grab. And a little float over the top intended for Joel Wooten. But Christian Olsen is Johnny on the spot and adjusts his cut to snag that one out of the air. And there's a hold for Chain.
Yeah, you'll see here that Huck may have been a foul call even on the Huck, but a great grab to keep possession there. And you see when he makes this floaty throw, Chain was worried for a second, but Johnny on the spot, Christian Olsen.
So as we take a look at Chain's defense here, we see Nicky Spiva, a first-year captain, getting set to pull. He's definitely someone to keep your eye on for the rest of this game. Out of Colorado College, experience with Next Gen. He's been on Chain for a number of years now. The other player to watch for Chain Lightning is the man who they centered the disc to, number 13, Jared Inselman. It's his third year on Chain Lightning, a longtime Ring of Fire veteran. He's going to be a strong guiding force for that offense. So Chain getting set to pull. We have a little bit of wind picking up here. Might be pulling slightly downwind. We see Spiva, Asa Wilson, Christian Olsen, Michael Spear, Brian Moore, and Tyler Conger out there for that defensive unit. And we see a zone here from Chain's defense. Lindley who's played with Chain before, working against this zone. Big part of their run to the semifinals in 2011. Mayowald to Klain. Over to Lindley. Mayowald. Lindley. Andrew Moore.
Subzero gets a reset here.
That's Reese Hornis. Chain transitions out of their zone. Subzero did a great job just dinking and dunking around it. Lindley gets the up line. Little over-the-top throw. Spiva's going to have a play at it. And his presence forces Kyle Gill to go up early. And Chain's D-line will have their first chance with the disc this game. Spiva and Conger. Friends from high school, now anchoring the Chain Lightning D-line. Played on Tanazi together for a number of years, and here's the deep shot from Spiva to Christian Olsen. Mayowald falls onto him. Olsen pretty upset. Thinks that Mayowald kind of embellished the contact after the grab to prevent him from getting an easy throw off. Cutters are going to have to reset to where they were before Olsen called the foul. Olsen finds Moore. Pick called. Moore, a rookie on this team, coming from Alabama. Reset to Conger. Around to Olsen. Reset to Conger, who throws and goes to Olsen, to Chris Blake, Hannah. And that's a break for Chain. They lead 2-1. Nice patience in the red zone from Chain's D-line offense there.
Yeah, when you see Chain's throwers here, they're going to want to look to run and gun. Not afraid to throw those backhands on the move. Very accurate throwers who are very used to throwing that kind of stuff. We can see maybe later in the game if Minneapolis starts to decide to call some travels, slow down that offense. The observers might come into play. But very fun to watch, very fun style for the spectators. Very effective offense. Should pay dividends for their D-line down the stretch.
So Subzero is going to keep the same offensive unit out there. Anchored by Grant Lindley and Josh Klain in the handler set. And Brian, a tale of two teams heading in opposite directions this weekend, with Subzero surprising at the U.S. Open, making the semifinals last weekend, but going 0-3 so far today, and Chain Lightning with a respectable 2-1 start to the tournament.
Oh yeah, Subzero looked excellent in the Open. I think they surprised a couple people. I think that people didn't think they were going to go as far as they did. As we see here, a flood stack. Subzero's going to work it up the field. And of course, Chain, perennial contender, stepping into its own here. The nice first day of pool play.
That flood stack really opened up a lot of space here on this side of the field. Subzero's been able to eat up a lot of yardage, and as Klain earns an upline past a bidding Russell Snow. Lindley looking for an option. Finds Moore inside. Back to Lindley. A nice I.O. basically high release flick from Lindley to Klain. A lot of chemistry between those two. And Subzero's offense holds.
Lindley so patient on the goal line. You can see him there. He's he's a very creative player. Very fast, very athletic, but also one of the more calm-looking players you can see. Not afraid to hold the disc for a while. He knows he has the throws. He trusts his teammates. A great type of guy to have as an anchor for your line.
So we take a look at Chain Lightning's offensive unit. And excuse me, I believe I said that Subzero led 2-1. This game is actually tied at 2 after Atlanta's break. Looking at Chain's O-line, we see Jared Inselman, the longtime Ring of Fire veteran, Michael Spear, Jake Clark, Tyler Conger, Andrew Hollingworth, Nikki Spiva, and Asa Wilson. Subzero with the pull. Inselman centers to Conger. Spiva with a double move. And Conger floats a nice outside in flick to space. And a little dishy to Asa Wilson. An easy goal for Chain Lightning. We saw Spiva take a few steps in on the break side. Got his defender to bite and took off deep, and there wasn't much deep force side help.
Chain does love that deep ball, as is their mantra. When you have that combination of throwers, cutters, speed, size, athleticism, it's really the most efficient offense you can play. A lot of teams go for the unders. If you have that high completion percentage of those cutters getting open downfield, you have those throwers who can give it to him, you bet they're going to take that shot every day.
So Chain Lightning leads 3-2. They're up a break here on Minneapolis Subzero here in the final round of pool play on Saturday at the 2014 Chesapeake Invite. A reminder that Next Gen will be here tomorrow providing live coverage of the championship bracket. We'll have a women's quarterfinal, a men's semifinal, the women's final, and the men's final. And Michael Spear with a nice pull that's going to hang. Gainer centers to Klein. Lindley in isolation. Moore's covered well by Olsen. Around to Klein. Klein to Gainer. Back to Klein. Moore works his way around the poach. Lindley gets an under. Klein. Maywald. Moore with another big under. It's the second one of those he's gotten this point. Resets to Gainer. Lindley boxes out and makes the grab. Moore. Gainer. Lindley. Gill. Clean covered by Elliot Erickson. Now he gets the reset. Around to Lindley. The continuation to Moore isn't there, but he throws a scuba, and that goes off the hands of Kyle Gill. Well executed, but, well executed throw. This is going to be a Subzero turnover, and it looks like Christopher Hanna He's going to be taking an injury. Not sure if he cramped up or rolled his ankle. Looks like a cramp just came out of nowhere.
Appears to be stretching with that calf, like we've been saying all day. This heat, this humidity can creep up on you. End of the day, hydration, as any athlete knows, is super key. And we'll see his replacement come on the field. Shane with an opportunity here to head back down the field.
Brian Moore, one of the rookies. His swing pass for Christian Olsen. He's a little behind his mark, got a little eaten by the wind. And Subzero is going to have the disc on the goal line. Klein. Mayowald wide open. Subzero's got to be happy to get the disc back that easily and that quickly. And their offense holds. Mayowald with the bookends, though that throw was more to him than the chain receiver. Not a lot of energy from either team here. Last round of the day. Subzero traveling with a shorter roster. Shade Lightning having lost a few players to injury, including Byron Liu earlier in this game. His second shoulder separation of the day. Logan Weiss getting set to pull for Subzero, working into a little bit of a headwind. A roller that goes out near midfield. Inselman off the line to Conger. A very junky look from Subzero. Nice no-look backhand from Conger to Spiva. Up to Conger, who crashes through the cup. To Spinx. Back to Conger. Around to Spiva. Inselman. Jay Clark. Spinx. On the doorstep. Dumps to Conger. And Inselman makes about 17 moves at that front cone. With no mark, Conger had a lot to work with. Nice inside throw. And Chain navigates the Minneapolis junk.
Yep. With no mark here, we see Insulin has no problem dancing his way to score. It's an easy 1-2. This Chain offense looking really unflustered by anything that Subzero has thrown at them so far.
So Chain leading Subzero 4-3. Chain with the only break of the game so far. We've seen Minneapolis's offense have a lot of success in isolation and side stack and flood plays so far. It'll be interesting to see if they isolate Andrew Moore or Grant Lindley again off of this pull. Michael Spear getting set to pull for Chain. Respectable rip upwind. Up to Klein. Moore streaking deep. Reset to Gaynor. Around to Lindley. Lindley looks inside. Resets to Gaynor. Gaynor to Kyle Gill. Mayowald. Chain transitions. Josh Klein. Out to space for Grant Lindley. Klein looks off a break opportunity and gets it around to Mayowald. Lindley, Klein. Big fake to Gaynor. And Christian Olsen misses the D. Gaynor's on the goal line. And Lindley with a nice stutter step, jabbing up line, jabbing back line, and then going upfield.
Just sneaks right there, right underneath the defense to the cone. Nothing but a short dump off pass is all that's necessary.
Grant Lindley so good at getting separation in all kinds of space, no matter how small it is.
He's so quick, and most of all, his changes of direction are essentially instant. It's just that much harder for a defender to keep up with his speed when he has to worry about him changing direction on a dime.
Did a great job putting his defender on his heels and attacking at the right moment. As we take a look here, Lindley trots into position. That up line to back fake put the defender on his heels, got him to open up his hips a tiny bit.
That window's all you need.
As Tyler Conger, UVA Night Train alum, getting set to receive the pull here. Conger centers to Inselman. Vert stack from Chain. And Conger's gonna send it deep for Asa Wilson. Covered quite well by Nick Simonelli. Danny Meeson back to pick up as we get another look at this huck. Conger might have thrown it a little bit late.
Perhaps he might have been accounting for this wind, or maybe just a little bit of a miscalculation. Definitely could have been slightly farther, give his receiver a better chance.
Poachy defense on the transition here from Chain Lightning, and Minneapolis's first few looks were stifled. Meeson catches the reset and is fouled by Jake Clark.
This is something we'll see O-lines do a lot. In their transition defense here, they're going to try to win back the disc sort of with their communication and with their minds here. They're doing a lot of switches, a lot of space poaches.
And if you see just off screen, Jared Inselman's been hanging out deep, roaming back and forth between the sidelines, trying to help, poaching off his man. Lots of switching here from Chain.
The deep shot, not too much of a threat, as we could see that last pull, and a going up wind barely got there.
Great block by Asa Wilson, as Grayson Pangburn tried to get a little too cheeky with that reset. And Jay Clark with another one of his signature layout grabs. Jared Inselman doing a great job to break the mark and put it in the back corner where only Clark can get it, as we get another look here at Asa Wilson's hand block. Inselman picks up, puts this one in a coffin corner, and Clark extends to make the grab. Something we saw quite a bit of on the Next Gen Tour. So Chain Lightning leading Minnesota Subzero 5-4 here in the final round of pool play at the 2014 Chesapeake Invite. we get another look at this great throw from Inselman, an even better catch from Jay Clark, sizing it up and timing his jump at the perfect moment.
If you can see the high-flying Jay Clark, he turns the disc just so he can roll. A lot of other players might make that catch and get injured. Jay Clark will do that so he can do that game in and game out and keep up the high level of play.
Chain's pull, sails out of bounds. Josh Klein will bring it in at the brick mark. Looking like some junk from the Chain Lightning defense. Some lane poaches with a flat mark. Gainer, Klein. Gainer. Klein. Back to Gainer. Klein again. Klein with a nice inside flick to Kyle Gill. Gainer. Chain transitions. Lots of space to hammer to Grant Lindley. Kyle Gill. Lindley. And a tremendous layout block from Christian Olsen. Keyed up on that one. Saw the thrower sizing it up and struck at the right time. This is Christian Olsen's second year on Chain, already having a big impact. That throw goes up line to Russell Snow, and Josh Klein will foul him. And he's going to get a blue card for a physical mark that prevents an obvious hucking opportunity. Klein able to laugh it off. He'll be on Russell Snow's back. Spinx, Erickson, Olsen really doing work on this point, grinding on the turn after getting that incredible D. Resets to Snow, and Russell Snow will call a timeout. A great opportunity to break. Chain Lightning leading Subzero 5-4 here at the 2014 Chesapeake Invite. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Here we are now back from the timeout. We'll see Chain attempt to get this break in what's been a pretty offensively dominated game here. Big layout D on the goal line gave Chain this chance. At 5-4, they could take this momentum really into halftime. You see both teams are set now in a vertical stack. We'll look towards handler motion. Subzero, of course, a tremendous layout D attempt. They'll be another call on the field.
Michael Spear is going to have the disc on the sideline here. Andrew Moore on the mark. Spear resets to Snow. And his around throw has no wrist snap on it. Christian Olsen did the best he could to make a play on that one, but Subzero converges to get the block. So we get a look here, just no wrist snap, and that sails straight into the air. Lindley. Gill. Maywald. Klein with a nice inside window, a great outside in throw to the inside out lane to Lindley, and Lindley continues to Moore. And to be honest with you, the hockey assist was really the crucial pass in that point.
Yeah, that was kind of through traffic, yet it had its window. Less of a dangerous throw and more of just a technically difficult throw to put that with the wind we had. You got to put a lot of muscle with a lot of touch. And, of course, as we see the replay here, Lindley sure-handed can flip that in the end zone for the Subzero goal.
Throws like that are not uncommon for Klein. Student at University of Minnesota. Been a big leader on that program for the last few years. Also a veteran of the USA Ultimate Under-23 men's national team last summer that won gold in Toronto. So after that timeout, Chain unable to convert. They would have been going up 6-4 with a chance to take half, but instead the game is tied at 5. Subzero getting set to pull. Marcus Elson with a nice pull. Inselman to Spiva. Spiva with his classic fake to set up the around. Reset to Inselman. Around to Conger. Conger to Inselman. And Inselman's throw is going to be just a tad too low.
Inselman comes up pulling at his hamstring. He's trying to jog it off now. A couple sprightly steps, but still looks like it's bothering him. If they lose Inselman, if not for today, then tomorrow, that'll be a big loss for this offensive line, Chain in general. He's going to play through. See Subzero with an opportunity for break now.
Matt Young resets to Meeson. And Meeson is going to rip deep to an isolated Matt Young. And Young, in the middle of 3 Chain defenders, attacks at the right moment, comes down with that disc, and Subzero, who is just a few minutes from trailing 6-4, now leads 6-5 after that break. And great throw from Danny Meeson.
Yeah, great throw, especially great catch. Get up there and make that read. Get the break for your team. Chain are kind of shaking their heads walking off the field. They had pretty good position, and their offense had been running so smoothly. I think they're shocked now that they have a chance to give up half to the Subzero squad that they've been up on most of the game.
Logan Weiss getting set to pull again for Carleton. Minnesota with the chance to take half here if they break. Reminder that today's games only go to 13 in pool play.
That break especially important because they're forcing Chain Lightning to go quasi upwind here. As a couple of the Subzero defenders will pick up grass and judge the wind direction. They're going to want to tailor their defense to forcing Chain to make those throws into this wind. As we see a big flick blade pull. Very difficult to catch. Responsibility falls to Tyler Conger. He'll let it hit the ground. Disc is centered. Subzero's coming out in sort of a junky defense. They do not want Chain to get any farther than a few yards off their goal line. Lots of switching and pressure. Tyler Conger is so comfortable in the zone offensive look. Creative thrower, but also patient. We'll have a stoppage here.
Not sure if there was contact there or if they're disputing a stall call. Observers coming in to give a ruling. The only involvement we've seen from the observers up until this point was the blue card awarded to Josh Clean and Subzero for a physical mark that took away a hucking opportunity. Tyler Conger's going to maintain possession. Finds Spiva. And we have another pick call. Interesting to see that called when Subzero's in this junky zone set. Subzero might be transitioning out or not. Spiva to Clark. to Conger.
Chain doing all they can to avoid getting stuck on this downwind sideline.
And now Spiva has it there. Conger with the straight back dump. Spiva tries to go through the cup. Hollingworth was the intended target, but great job by the Subzero Cup to get the block.
And there it is.
Danny Meeson beats his mark up line, and Subzero is going to take half 7-5, and quite an interesting swing of events, Brian. If you look back at that timeout the Chain Lightning took, they had the disc at 5-4, attempting to break and go up 6-4. And since then, Subzero has gone on a 3-1 run to take half 7-5.
And this all goes back to that upwind break. So crucial to turn that break any more than a normal one.
So that brings us to halftime here in pool play. Chain Lightning trailing Minneapolis Subzero 7-5. We will be back after 10 minutes. And welcome back to Next Gen's continuing coverage of the 2014 USA Ultimate Triple Crown Tour. We are here live in Leesburg, Virginia, with coverage of the Chesapeake Invite Pro Elite Flight Challenge. We've made it to the last round of pool play on Saturday, where Minneapolis Subzero, who was 0-3 heading into this game, leads Chain Lightning 7-5, coming out of halftime on the heels of a 3-0 run that started after Chain took a timeout with a chance to break and go up 6-4.
Yeah, Ian, sort of an unexpected turn of events here. Subzero got sort of a burst of energy from their handlers, Klein and Lindley, just working the disc, getting good success on defense. Chain kind of shaking their heads. They're not really sure what happened. They sustained a couple injuries in the first half. We saw Lou and Inselman pull up with potentially limiting injuries.
Hannah had a cramp, and we also saw Dave Berendez on the sideline.
So hopefully Chain can salvage what it can as they send a disc off the pole. Subzero coming down again in that zone that was pretty successful for them last time. Tyler Conger with a bevy of no-look throws as he'll put that backhand across the cup.
Inselman. He's a very tall player. Wide, lanky pivots. Jake Clark, who had a great catch earlier, tries to find his reset. Conger and Inselman cut into the same space. Inselman leads Conger. And Andrew Hollingworth makes it to the fourth side without difficulty. And Chain gets an important hold out of halftime. They now trail Minneapolis 7-6.
Yeah, we see Inselman kind of cutting up line there. He was doing a lot of lateral movement back and forth, so maybe that injury is not really that big of a deal. Could just be something that's soft and tweaked. No problem getting up line there, and Tyler Conger with the easy put. So here's an important D point for Chain Lightning. They want to try to get back in this game as soon as they can. You don't want it to run into the late hours and be down by more than what's reachable.
Something we saw in our previous round with Schwa and Ozone, where Ozone had a 12-6 advantage that Schwa worked all the way back to 12-10 before Ozone caught the winning score.
Yeah, and you admire the determination, but you hate to see something like that where it's just one team fighting so hard, playing so hard, and they just don't have enough time past the cap to turn the game around.
So Frank Wooten getting set to pull for Chain Lightning. Not sure about Frank, but we know that his brother Joel is going to be playing with Boneyard at the World Ultimate Club Championships in the beginning of August. And Frank's pull goes just out of bounds.
He'll take out the cone. It's deemed out of bounds by the observer.
Josh Klain, well known for his Snapchat game as well as his break throws. But Russell Snow takes those away there. Back to Klain. Around to Lindley. Lindley breaks the mark to Gaynor. Another mark broken. Lindley's upfield. Gaynor breaks the mark again. Subzero's gained about 30 yards just on breaking marks alone, and Gaynor with a nice little step through inside backhand to Josh Klain, who's pretty happy about that one. It's the second one of those cheeky inside throws he's caught for a goal, and Minneapolis now leads 8-6. Get another look at Klain, perhaps showing off for the camera with the head spike there. A nice throw from John Gaynor. We've seen a great consolidation of talent on this Subzero team across players from all the great college programs in the North Central. Gaynor from Wisconsin, Lindley from Carleton, Klain from Minnesota. And you take a look back at this point, Subzero's progress was definitely facilitated by Gaynor repeatedly breaking the mark. You saw one to Lindley and then this nice inside shot to Klain.
He has that fast release that's just so tough for defenders even when you're in position. You put it right around your body before you know what's going on. We'll see the flick pull here from Subzero. Towering, floating in the back of the end zone. This one looks like it's going to go out the back. Conger will take it at the brick mark.
Wind definitely picking up here at the start of this second half. Chain's going to have to be working into the teeth of it. It looks like Subzero's coming in a 3-2-2 or some sort of junk. 2-3-2 perhaps. Inselman, great leading pass to Clark. Classic Jake Clark scuba to Conger, over to Spinx, to Spiva. Up to Conger. Nice inside throw. And another inside throw to Trenton Spinx. And Chain making light work of that 2-3-2 despite the wind in their face.
Yeah, absolutely no difficulty there. Chain able to pick their shots, keep it on that upwind sideline where they're comfortable.
So Minneapolis leads 8-7 here in the second half of the last round of pool play at the 2014 Chesapeake Invite, as we get another look at Chain using their inside throws in the red zone. Chain stands at 2-1 in this pool. Minneapolis stands at 0-3. Minneapolis traveling to this tournament without Simon Montague, one of the most dynamic handlers in the game, and that is not an exaggeration. And Nick Stewart, one of the larger, more powerful receivers, as we saw last weekend at the US Open.
Yeah, definitely some major losses, temporary losses, especially Stewart had such a great tournament at the US Open. Caught so many goals, especially deep goals. Just having a big body out here is something that Subzero or really any team could benefit.
Jake Clark making his appearance on the D-line.
That pull will stay inbounds. Force Subzero to take it at the back. Lindley now with it, taking a look downfield. He'll take that shot now. Down to Gainer.
Christian Olsen backside. And Jay Clark comes in. Gets the good read. Inselman shooting deep to Elliot Erickson. A great throw from Inselman to Erickson. That's the kind of stuff you expect to see out of a veteran like Jared Inselman. Executing that quick huck right on the money to help Chain convert a break. This game is tied at 8 as we get another look at Jay Clark's defensive skills there, coming in on the backside of Grant Lindsley's huck. Inselman gets it from Clark and shoots to a streaking Elliot Erickson. And Chain's tied this game at 8. And with that, Subzero is going to take a timeout. We will be back after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Next Gen's continuing coverage of the 2014 Chesapeake Invite. This Pro Elite Challenge here in Leesburg, Virginia. We have a final round pool play matchup between Chain Lightning and Minneapolis Subzero. After Minneapolis took half 7-5, Chain Lightning's come back to tie the game at 8. Brian, what do you think's been the difference for Chain so far in this second half?
Let's take off with the pull here. Chain Lightning really seemed to find their rhythm. They were moving so well, and I think they just had a little hiccup. I don't think they ever really needed to find the key. They were moving well at the start. It looks like they resolved any little issue they were having at the end of the half. See Klein streaking down the sideline. And a bit of a miscommunication. Subzero will give that over. And another uncharacteristic miscommunication from these two teams. They'll trade silly mistakes. And Lindley will be here. It looks like he'll pick up, nope. He'll defer to Klein, who will pick up. We have to be thinking that he's looking for an inside break throw. Oh, and that is a masterful high release flick to Lindley. The two of them have such great communication.
Lindley did a really great job of driving his defender all the way to the line so that Klein had that inside lane to throw. So we take a look at Klein picking up here. A textbook dump set play. Well executed by Klein and Lindley. Really hard to defend.
Exactly. I was about to say that throw is almost impossible because if you're on the back shoulder of your man, that throw is going to get put to the cone. He's going to have an easy catch. If he turns around and your thrower can put it back shoulder, there's really not too much you can do about it.
So Minneapolis leading 9-8 over Atlanta in this final round of pool play today. Marcus Elson getting set to pull for Subzero. Big backhand going slightly upwind. Goes from Inselman to Conger. And a bit of a zipper play as Wilson was the intended recipient, but the throw never went up. Inselman with an aggressive break look at Max, and Hollingworth stays with it. And a nice outside in backhand over the stack to Jay Clark, who's had a habit of catching some scores in the back corners of the end zone so far.
He'll take that cone to go, replace it. A lot of really fun players to watch on this team, whether you're into big catches in skies, layouts, or crafty throws. You can really find it all in Chain Lightning.
Inselman really got lucky there. After that break look, took off a little higher than he expected, but the chain receivers doing a great job staying aware.
Lindley will have a few words with his defense, or rather his offense.
And this game is tied at 9s. Chain sitting at 2-1. Subzero sitting at 0-3. Nicky Spiva, he's had a quieter game so far, getting set to pull for Chain.
He's been playing more of a control role in this game. Hasn't made too many big plays, but still very important.
Center to Klein. Lindley in isolation. Drags 2 defenders deep. Kyle Gill gets the under. Klein up line. Mayewald can't bring that one down. Inselman to pick up. That's the soft cap horn. Not sure how that's going to apply because this game started well after it was supposed to, at least 5 to 10 minutes. Spear finds Olsen. And a deep shot goes up. Inselman might have given up a step too early, but that goes out of the reach of both Inselman and Spinx. Lindley's going to pick the disc up. Elliot Erickson on the mark. Klein with the disc now. Gainer with a nice under. Gainer to Moore.
Here we have Klein limping off the field. Something may have happened away from the discs, maybe an odd step, turned ankle.
Disc is going to be brought back in Andrew Moore's hands. We saw Danny Meeson come on there. And a nice offhand backhand reset throw. Gainer to Meeson. 2 crafty lefty handlers. Lindley gets a nice strike cut up to Gainer. Lindley. Meeson. Meeson with a great break throw to Drew Mayewald. And Subzero scores to make it 10-9. And once again, it's the crafty handling and break throws of John Gainer, Danny Meeson, and Grant Lindley really driving this Minneapolis offense on the turn. They're going with it, so this will be a game 2. So Minnesota leads 10-9, and we did hear the soft cap go on during that point, and despite the fact that the game started late, the soft cap will be into effect at the time the horn went off, and this game will be capped at 12. So we are adding 2 to the highest score. Subzero leading 10-9. Grayson Pangburn getting set to pull here for Subzero. Centered to Conger. Hannah streaking deep. Conger with a nice around flick. Another nice around flick to Hollingworth. Chain's younger players getting involved. Conger surveys the field. Nice inside backhand to Clark. Back to Conger. And a pick called as Chris Hanna tried to break out of the stack there.
Looks like Conger's eyeing down a scuba to the front of the stack.
Might be a little tougher as this wind is slightly a crosswind, but he throws it anyways.
Tough to complete. Chain a little confused now. They're going to talk it out.
So I think there was a contested stall. We see Conger and Cousins discussing. And it looks like there was no stall. And Danny Meeson is going to be able to pick up and try and lead Subzero on another upwind break charge. Chain shouting at its defenders to front, given the upwind conditions. Matt Young, who had a great catch earlier, finds Cousins. Logan Weiss. Meeson. Danny Meeson. Conger reaching for that D. Meeson. It's a very, very big opportunity for Subzero to break. And a nice inside throw off the line from Meeson. He gets it back. And Logan Weiss catches the disc just above the bricks mark. Calls timeout, and a critical opportunity here for Minnesota. They lead 10-9. So we see a look of frustration from Tyler Conger after getting stuck with few options and throwing the scuba turnover.
Like we said earlier, this is the point in the game where you don't want to find yourself down by even one, because that soft cap horn goes off and a lead of one is suddenly a mandate of 2 breaks, or at least a hold and a break. I think Chains find themselves in a really tough spot here if Subzero is able to convert.
So Logan Weiss is going to bring the disc back in. Subzero has a vert stack set with 3 handlers out. Weiss looking for his reset. Finds Dave Eddy. Back to Meeson. Minneapolis comfortable with losing yards, and Cousins with a great around break to Grayson Pangburn. And that's a backbreaker. Chain now trails 11-9 in a game to 12 as we get another look at these great behind resets. A nice inside break by Danny Meeson and a back-breaking around backhand by Cousins. And let's take a look back at one of the better individual performances we've seen this game. The Patagonia play of the game comes from Jay Clark of Chain Lightning. Jared Inselman picked up off a turnover and found Jay Clark in the back corner of the end zone, and Clark leapt at full extension to make the grab. That is our Patagonia play of the game. So Minnesota leads Atlanta 11-9 in a game to 12 here. Subzero looking for its first win of the day. Chain Lightning fighting to stay above 500 on the day. And a blading pull is fielded by Hollingworth up to Inselman. Out to Snow. And a pick called. Meeson guarding Trenton Spinx. Got picked as he ran through Christian Olsen and Logan Weiss. Snow looking deep for Spinx, who comes down with the grab over Danny Meeson. Logan Weiss also in the area. Spinx has size, but he's also got timing. A nice trust throw by Russell Wilson and a spectacular grab by Trenton Spinx.
That's an essential point for Chain Lightning here. If they were to have given that point up, they'd be in an exceedingly tough position to try to get this game back. Now they see themselves essentially a point away from tying it up, and then another point away from winning.
Chain sticking with its motto of chicks digging the long ball there. Made popular by former Atlanta Braves pitchers Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine. Chain trails Subzero 11-10 in a game that will be capped at 12. This is the second game point opportunity for Subzero. Their offense set to receive. Nikki Spiva getting ready to pull for Chain Lightning. Spiva with a big outside in backhand. It's going to blade into the end zone. Meeson to Gaynor. And there's a lot of contact in the stack. Nothing was called. Gaynor. And Chain gets a piece of that around break attempt.
That was a wishful around throw. Really couldn't get it there.
Nikki Spiva is going to pick up for Chain. About 20 yards outside the Subzero end zone.
Exactly what Chain needs here is one of these short field turnovers.
Hollingworth up line, pumps the hammer. Spiva initiates contact to get the reset.
Subzero doing a good job of poaching that frontside cone. Great break throw here from Spiva. And it's an easy dump in here for Olsen.
Great work from Nick Spiva in the handler set. We had talked about him having a quieter game, but like you said, he's playing more of a control role in this game, and He doesn't turn the disc over, calmly leads the D-line offense. Nice inside break to Christian Olsen, who has an easy flip there to Andrew Hollingworth.
Yeah, no better time to show up in the game than on the goal line with your team down by 1, with the game on the line.
So this brings us to 11-11. We are at double game point for both teams in the last round of pool play action. We are unsure, given the adjusted nature of the soft cap and the late start to this game, if this will be hard capped, but we believe it will still be capped at 12. And the observers confirm for us that this is double game point.
So this is Chain Lightning's second double game point game in a row. They came out on the fortunate side of the last round versus High Five. Let's see if they can pull out the same here. They'll be coming out on defense, so sort of an uphill road.
Jared Inselman's hamstring still giving him trouble on the line, but he's going to stay out there. We see Inselman, Spiva, Jay Clark, Michael Spear, Trenton Spinx, Andrew Hollingworth, and another Chain rookie. Looking back at Subzero's offensive unit, we see Grant Lindley, John Gaynor, Josh Klain, Andrew Moore, Logan Weiss coming over from the D-line, Kyle Gill, and Drew Mayewald. And here comes the pull from Chain. That one's going to sail out of bounds. Not necessarily what you want to see on double game point. Giving the offense a chance to set up. And Klain will take it a few yards above the brick mark. We see Lindley at the back of the side stack. Spear has a little bit of help over the top from Spiva. Klain doesn't huck. Resets to Lindley. This stack from Subzero looking a little stagnant, but Gaynor breaks out for the grab. Gaynor. His throw to Lindley is a tad behind him, and Spear gets a block, but Klain calls a foul. Chain calls a foul.
The observers clarify that it will be a play-on situation, so we'll see Chain with their chance here.
We see Nicky Spiva and Andrew Hollingworth back. Inselman on the trap sideline. Spear.
Chain springing to life.
Inside to Spiva. That's a tough throw off the line there.
Subzero not giving up an inch, though.
And Nick Spiva is going to call a timeout with this game tied at 11-11.
This is oddly reminiscent of the last time out, except it seems that the jerseys may have switched.
Lots of pressure on the Subzero defense here. An unfortunate turnover there with their offense in control. Chain trying to draw up the game-winning play to improve their record to 3-1. Minnesota trying to stay alive and make it out of Saturday with at least one victory.
The observer announces 20 seconds for the offense to get set. Both teams are certainly exhausted at this point, but this will be the last point of their day. Best make the most of it. We'll see Spivey give the grass a pat there. He's getting rid of those sweaty hands. Cannot afford any careless turnovers at this point in the game. We'll see Lindley set up on the dump defense.
And Trenton Spinx just beats his man to the cone and drops the disc. He had John Gaynor dead to rights and can't hang on to it. And now Josh Klane's going to pick up right near his own cone. Klane resets to Lindley. Weiss tries to get the under. He does. Up to Klane. Mayowald gets another under.
Subzero content to just work it up this forced sideline.
Kyle Gill now, marked by Inselman. Lindley gets another up line. He fakes the hammer. Klane with the disc. Weiss slips trying to attack the cone. Klane gets stalled.
Hollingworth with an excellent mark there.
Two unfortunate red zone turnovers, one from each team. And a reminder that this is double game point. Bringing the disc back in will be Nikki Spiva. Chain with another chance to break and win. Swings to Andrew Hollingworth. Clark going deep. Throw doesn't go up. Spiva gets an up line. Inselman churning deep. And it goes up late. Kyle Gill's got to pursue. Inselman makes the grab. Dishes to Michael Spear. And that's the game. 12-11, Chain Lightning wins in a capped affair. They move to 3-1 on the day. And Subzero, after a stellar U.S. Open performance, comes into this tournament and starts off 0-4. Definitely shorthanded, though they had their opportunities to close this one out. As we get another look at the tremendous grab by Jared Inselman, definitely fighting off some injury there. That will conclude Next Gen's coverage for the day. You've just seen Chain beat Subzero on double game point, 12-11. We will be back tomorrow morning with 4 straight games of championship bracket play. For Brian Kiernan, I'm Ian Toner. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.